Thank you for your time. My name is Betula, and this is Food for Thought. There's something I'd like to read to you. A master in the art of living draws no sharp distinctions between her work and her play, her labor and her leisure, her mind and her body, her education and her recreation. She hardly knows which is which. She simply pursues her visions of excellence through whatever she is doing, and leaves others to determine if she is working or playing. To herself, she always appears to be doing both. Francois Rene de Chateaubriand. No one is born a master. Each must learn through discipline the mastery of self. You decide who you are, not society. I am no faint heart when it comes to the unpleasant truth. Indeed, I have always taken a bracing sort of pleasure in facing it. Jude Morgan. As soon as we abandon our own reason and are content to rely upon authority, there is no end to our troubles. Bertrand Russell. Think of it. We are blessed with technology that would be indescribable to our forefathers. We have the wherewithal, the know-it-all, to feed everyone, clothe everybody, and give every human on earth a chance. We now know what we could never have known before, that we now have the option for all of humanity to make it successfully on this planet in this lifetime. Whether it is to be a Utopia or Oblivion will be a touch-and-go relay race right up until the final moment. Richard Bucky Buckminster Fuller. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. Marcus Aurelius. Master the art of self-love, and you will never have to seek validation ever again. Ajum Chudahari. True mastery and self-mastery requires one to be an lifelong student. If you are not willing to be a fool, you can't become a master. Jordan P. Peterson. Never was anything great achieved without danger. Niccolo Machiavelli. So many people live within unhappy circumstances and yet will not take the initiative to change their situation because they are conditioned to a life of security, conformity, and conservatism, all of which may appear to give one peace of mind, but in reality, nothing is more dangerous to the adventurous spirit within a man than a secure future. The very basic core of a man's living spirit is his passion for adventure. The joy of life comes from our encounters with new experiences, and hence, there is no greater joy than to have an endlessly changing horizon, for each day to have a new and different sun. John Krakauer. Don't bother just to be better than your contemporaries or predecessors. Try to be better than yourself. William Faulkner. I've been making a list of the things they don't teach you at school. They don't teach you how to love somebody. They don't teach you how to be famous. They don't teach you how to be rich or how to be poor. They don't teach you how to walk away from someone you don't love any longer. They don't teach you how to know what's going on in someone else's mind. They don't teach you what to say to someone who's dying. They don't teach you anything worth knowing. Neil Gaiman. To master the universe, firstly master your own mind. Mehmet Murat Ildan. Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius. The artist always has the masters in his eyes. Ralph Waldo Emerson. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged the punishments. The scroll I am the master of my fate. I am captain of my soul. William Ernest Henley. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. Victor Hugo. I vowed to apply my own inventory of experiences to the solving of problems that affect everyone aboard planet Earth. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Lao Tzu. A person who has not been completely alienated, who has remained sensitive and able to feel, who has not lost the sense of dignity, who is not yet for sale, who can still suffer over the suffering of others, who has not acquired fully the having mode of existence. Briefly, a person who has remained a person and not become a thing cannot help feeling lonely, powerless, isolated, and in present-day society. He cannot help doubting himself or his own convictions, if not his sanity. He cannot help suffering, even though he can experience moments of joy and clarity that are absent in the life of his normal contemporaries. Not rarely will he suffer from neurosis that results from the situation of a sane man living in an insane society, rather than that of the more conventional neurosis of a sick man trying to adapt himself to a sick society. In the process of going further in his analysis, i.e., of growing to greater independence and productivity, his neurotic symptoms will cure themselves. Erich Fromm. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. Charlie Chaplin. Find joy in the ordinary. Take all that the money we spent on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over. Not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace. Bill Hicks. Stupid, knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing a lie. What do we live for if not to make life less difficult for each other? George Eliot. An ounce of action is worth a ton of theory. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Nothing is a waste of time if you use the experience wisely. Auguste Rodin. Our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future. And we are all mortal. John Fitzgerald Kennedy. The first step in the acquisition of wisdom is silence. The second, listening. The third, memory. The fourth, practice. The fifth, teaching others. Solomon Ibn Gabriel. I believe that ideas such as absolute certitude and absolute exactness, final truth, etc., are figments of the imagination which should not be admissible in any field of science. This loosening of thinking seems to me to be the greatest blessing which modern science has given to us. For the belief in a single truth and in being the possessor thereof is the root of all evil in the world. Max Born. The whole value of solitude depends upon oneself. It may be a sanctuary or a prison, a haven or a repose or a place of punishment, a heaven or a hell, as we ourselves make it. John Lubbock. My atheism, like that of Spinoza, is true piety towards the universe and denies only gods fashioned by men in their own image, to be servants of their own human interests. George Santayana. Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. Leonardo da Vinci. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Mike Tyson. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. Frank Herbert. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Nelson Mandela. Become absorbed in the eternity of now. No preoccupations, expectations, or concerns. Just an awareness of being one with the glorious symphony of existence. The more I examine the universe and the details of its architecture, the more evidence I find that the universe, in some sense, must have known we were coming. Freeman John Dyson. Thank you for your time.